Welcome to The Divide with Mike and Corey, two diehard baseball fans who don't agree on anything. Which side will you choose? This is
Welcome
The
to
Divide.
The Divide with Mike and Corey.
That's your boy Todd Frazier.
Hey guys, I'm Julie Stewart-Banks.
Hey, what's up? This is Cliff Floyd. You can catch me on The Divide.
You can catch me on The Divide on Fox Sports The Gambler.
Hopefully our disagreements one day bring us all together.
So stupid. So corny. And so stupid. I hope our disagreements bring us together.
Yeah, I do. This is The Divide.
And here we are Friday. It's The Divide live on Fox Sports The Gambler, 102.5 Philly, 104.1 Trenton. Another remote show, Mike. Another remote show. Oh
man.
my God. I guess at some point, America, in the last 8 days or 8 days ago, I should say, I caught the COVID. First time. And I gotta
First
be
time,
honest,
long time.
First time, long time. It was a piece of cake. Yeah. Didn't even know I had it. No, my daughter caught a fever Sunday night, and we thought it was teething. And just for laughs, my wife and I were like, let's just test just to make sure. And she came back negative, and I somehow came back positive. I just remember calling you last Saturday, talking about that I had a stuffy nose and how like just being like marginally or functionally sick is just like the worst. Like you are like, you make promises with God that you'll like, please God, if you just unclog this one nostril, I'll eat healthier. I swear to God. Like it's just
Exactly. Like you just start rethinking everything for sure. And like it's just like, and then you're like, am I gonna be like this for the rest of my life? Like you don't know when it's gonna end when you're functionally sick, because you're not sick enough to take you out of the game. You're in the game and you're still trying to figure it out. And it's the funniest time to be alive. Because you're convinced you're going to be sick for the rest of your life. So yeah, we talked about that on Saturday. And then on Monday, you're like, hey, speaking of functionally sick, I have COVID. And,
it's
luckily,
crazy.
Yeah, we tested out of it. So if my family gets it, it's not from you. But yeah, we all tested to confirm that Corey, although he was in studio on Wednesday, did not affect me at all. So
yeah, I feel so much better about that. I really, I just feel like everybody's getting it. Bert got it, and we haven't seen each other in weeks.
Oh, that's because you're twins, though. That makes sense. Like that's
it's
if
the ESP.
Pain, he feels pain.
That's what it is. Thanks a lot, Bert. I just feel bad just because I interacted with people over 3 days thinking I just had allergies, and in fact I had full blown. Is that even a thing to worry about? Like I understand, like don't get me wrong, dude, when my daughter was sick, I was like, oh God, I gave her COVID. This is gonna be bad. But even after a day, she was like, okay, what's next? Like it was a fever, and then that was pretty much it. So I don't know.
Yeah, we're all now dealing with it, right? I don't think it's ever gonna go away. So I feel as though, I don't know how to feel. I know schools are being hit hard with it right now. Like, if you know you have it and you're doing that, you're a jerk. But if you just think you have the sniffles, like I don't know why we would stay home. Like it's just like like it's not even flu-like symptoms anymore. So it's a give and take. But yeah, if you got a fever and you feel a certain way, like maybe you should seek medical attention. But what do we know? We don't know. We're all just trying to figure this out together. Like we lost some loved ones, obviously, and that was awful and sad in the beginning. But now you're like, you don't know, and like you said, you got a baby. The last thing you want to do is bring something home. But I'm glad.
Well, we took her to the doctor. Even the doctor was so nonchalant. She was just like, we could test for COVID, but it's definitely viral. It's not going to change how you treat her. So you don't even have to test if you don't want to. And we were like, what? Like she even the doctor was like, yeah, it's viral. It doesn't matter. But I tell you one thing, with the Dolphins playing as good as they're doing, in my mind, I was like, is this what we're doing? Am I trading my health so my favorite team can actually win games? Because if that's the case, I would happily be functionally sick for the entire football season and continue to see the Dolphins smoke their team. I
That's
would.
funny.
Would you trade your health or a portion of like how much of Mike Powers would you give up to see the Mets win a World Series?
Parts like
Like
30% of my body, probably. Especially if they like wheeled me out in a wheelbarrow, like that's our guy. He's the reason why we won. I would definitely do that. There's no doubt in my mind, bro. Like it's one
give
of
both arms and never be able to throw a first pitch. Be
yeah,
terrible.
I'll use my mouth. Shoot it out like that. You squeeze Corey squeezes my stomach and the ball shoots out. Like, like I don't know, man. Like I would definitely, there goes my hero, definitely would be playing while I did that. So you
Aim
can't
for the
ask
bushes.
that. I'll lick
So
anything. Oh, that sounds terrible. I meant like disease wise, germs wise. Like I
you
didn't
all
mean
heard it. You
yeah.
all heard it, Philly. The things he
Man.
would do, the things anybody would do for their sports team. 3 teams in the NFL are 3-0 right now. You got my Miami Dolphins, the San Francisco 49ers, and of course, Philly, your beloved Eagles are 3-0. Now, the Eagles walk into what I would say is a cakewalk this weekend against the Redskins. The Niners play Arizona, where only the Cowboys lose to Arizona. And the Dolphins probably have the toughest matchup against the Buffalo Bills, but it depends what Bills show up. I mean, I want to say, is this a home? I don't even know if it's home or away. No, it's away. It's in Buffalo, which might as well be Canada. I mean, side Buffalo, would you? But this is going to be a tough matchup for the Dolphins. I see 2 of the 3 teams being undefeated after this weekend. Still, the Eagles and the Niners. I don't think my Dolphins are going to pull it off in Buffalo against the Bills. I'm going to be negative here because it's worked for me in the past, but I think their magic runs out a little bit and they get smacked back down to reality.
You got to remember Buffalo lost to the Jets, and that was a Aaron Rodgers 4-play Jets, right? So, everybody's asking for Zach Wilson's head on a silver platter. So I mean, it's just you got to keep in mind, like Dolphins definitely right now look so much better than the Jets still would, even with Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know, man. I agree. The Dolphins have the hardest road to go 4-0, but I like my odds. I like my chances. And how great is that? Like we're talking about the Dolphins.
Oh my
Are
God.
they going to be 4-0? Like that's awesome. That's
They
awesome.
haven't had a start like that in the last, I want to say 6 or 7 years to be 4-0. But Buffalo's put up 37 and 38 points in their last 2 contests. Now, granted, it was against Las Vegas and Washington, but that's still a lot of points to put up against a professional football team. So I feel like Buffalo took it on the chin for that first week, that Monday night loss against Zach Wilson. And they're gonna start playing how Buffalo should or is meant to play. But we'll see, man. I couldn't be more happy with how the Dolphins are playing. I know Eagles fans, you guys got to be happy about how Philadelphia, the Eagles are playing. I mean,
They're not though. They're finding the flaws. The Eagles Twitter is hilarious, man. Like they're just like, Hurts hasn't played well. Like every scenario, like you're 3-0, dude. Like talk about a city who forgot like how hard it is to win, right?
well, how do they even want him to play? I mean, anybody could play better, but he's not playing bad football. Yeah, he's not running it in for 3 touchdowns and throwing for over 300, but he hasn't had to. So I don't understand how you could be upset about that.
Also, to be fair, like the oily wheel, the squeaky wheel gets the oil or whatever. So like that's the Twitter fans that are the biggest mouthpieces. But you know what I mean? Like it's any team that's 3-0, you can't be mad, especially in NFL. The undefeated team right now, like you got to feel good. And if I'm the Dolphins or the Eagles, I'm feeling good. If I'm the Niners, obviously that's feeling great right now. There's so many other opportunities out there where people are questioning. I mean, look at the New York teams. It's an absolute joke. It's like who's worse, Daniel Jones or Zach Wilson?
They're
like,
breaking it down by dollar amount. Like I'll take Zach Wilson just because I'm not paying him anything. Daniel Jones is making millions of dollars.
Yeah, I was dying, dude. There's this scenario where like there's a percentage of completion for Zach Wilson
Oh God.
when the O-line doesn't crumble, right? And most quarterbacks average about 70% completion when the O-line stays strong. he's still at 7%. There's a zero missing. There's a zero missing. He's at 7%. Like,
I just he stinks. There's no way around it. But
yeah.
like, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes. How you feel? You made it to the pros. You just getting there. You beat out so many other guys, but your
Yeah.
team is openly taking letters and these quarterbacks just cold calling them, saying like,
Yeah.
yeah, we want to come play, and then they're actually listening to what some of these guys have to say. So it's funny to me that you have Zach Wilson, who was a backup quarterback, but is now just waiting for like Trevor Siemian or somebody else to come in and have no place to do what he does. But I think that's funny. I can't imagine sitting. Just imagine if the two of us were just sitting and waiting for our replacement for the show. Just like, yeah, no, like if they told us, if they called us at the Gambler and was like, yeah, no, we're just we're interviewing guys for the new Divide hosts. That's what we're doing. But you guys continue to do the show until we find these guys. Like,
yeah,
you gotta be crazy.
And we're just sitting here promising we'll do better. Like, because that's what Zach Wilson's doing right now.
I promise.
I promise I'll do better. But also, like, dude, I get the only thing I could ever, like, in my life really associate this with is like Willy Wonka, where Zach Wilson was like, I want a Snoresberry now. Like, or whatever, like, Veruca Salt, or whatever her name was. Like, the one spoiled girl.
Yeah, the one that turns into a blueberry or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's all I could equate this to. And to be honest with you, like, apparently like his little brother's better than he is at football. And we're about to experience a Wilson 2.0 once he makes it into the pros. So yeah, man, it's nuts. What's also nuts is that we're about to experience a situation that I never thought we would ever experience in our lives. And Aaron Rodgers, the guy who was supposed to sell tickets to Jets games, is going to sell less tickets to Jets games than Taylor Swift.
This is insane to me. And it's crazy. I'll call I know stuff about sports is taking some heat right now because they called the fan base crazy, but it is. The fan base is absolutely insane. Did you see any video from the Chiefs game?
Yeah, I saw her like cursing in front of. I don't think I've cursed in front of your mom as much as Taylor cursed in front of her new boyfriend's mom in the first.
To be fair, I'll pander here. Taylor Swift can do whatever she wants. I mean, I don't care. She can turn and spit on Mama Kelsey for all that. She's Taylor Swift. But the behind the scenes stuff, I saw videos, the amount of people, mainly women, waiting outside of that suite or whatever area leads to that suite. It looked like they were trying to get backstage at a concert. Now, mind you, nobody knew she was going to be there until she showed up. So I'm guessing as soon as these Swift fans that heard she was at the game, you left your seat to line up in an area that was gated off to catch a glimpse and take a picture on your phone of Taylor Swift. Like, you paid for a football game. Watch the football game. It's insane to me. So now what you're talking about is Sunday Night Football against the Jets. Tickets sold out as soon as they announced that Taylor Swift would be in attendance. Do you understand how crazy that is? How crazy of a fan base do you have to where they're going to buy tickets? And it's not even like if she's performing at the Super Bowl, you buy tickets to see her halftime performance. She's not even performing. You bought tickets to maybe catch her or catch a glimpse of her on the big Jumbotron when the camera pans to her.
That's pretty much it. She's not performing at halftime.
No.
She's not doing anything. She's not even going to be on the sidelines where you can watch her the entire game. Dude, it's
insane. Kelsey jerseys went up 400% in sales. Tickets for Chiefs games have doubled and tripled depending on the game, and there's no guarantee that she's going to be at any of them. It's absolutely mind-blowing. That's a crazy fan base. That's where some of these people need psychological help. If my daughter or anybody, son, daughter, fan were to say, hey, I need tickets for a football game. Oh, you're going to go watch Kansas City play? Oh, no, I heard Taylor Swift's going to be there, so I want to be there. Like,
Right.
do you understand how crazy? Like, I'm not a fan of people chasing around celebrities with their phones and all that stuff. Like, we've been to meet and greets before. I feel embarrassed to be like, hey, can we get a picture? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
how
Right.
we
Right.
always wait until like the very end to where we're like,
Oh yeah. No.
do you mind? Because it's like we
Yeah.
just hate. I can't imagine just being that into an artist to where you're buying tickets for a different event and they just happen to be there. Like it's wild. Like there's celebrities. We went to the Hall of Fame. We went to a couple Hall of Fame games out in
Mhm.
Canton. And there's always celebrities there. Like the one time we went, there was Usher was there for some
Right.
like that would be like if we bought tickets to the Hall of Fame induction ceremony because we heard
Just
that for
sure.
other exactly,
Yeah.
dude, it's
Yeah.
insane. These
No.
Swifties are ruining the game of football. Forget about Travis Kelsey. You're it, as a father or just a person that wants to buy tickets and enjoy the game. If I was a Jets fan, I would be so pissed. You have a
Yeah.
miserable season so far. You have to watch Zach Wilson. Kansas City comes to town for a Sunday night football game, and you think that you have an affordable game to take them to because tickets are dirt cheap. And then it's announced that Taylor Swift is going to be there and it
Yeah.
skyrockets. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's exactly a lot of Jets fans right now. Like they're like, at least we'll be able to see games again because like even my brother, like he was like with Aaron Rodgers, like we're not gonna be able to go to many games. Like,
Yeah.
now he's gone and they're like, we could go to any game and now insert Taylor Swift. So dude, it's hilarious. I don't know. Like I was just thinking about all the times I've been to games and there's a celebrity there and they like show them on the Jumbotron. And like you never forget those moments, like it's a big deal. Like, hey, I was at a game the same time Aaron Judge was at a Knicks game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you'll never forget that. But also, like you shouldn't be buying tickets just because of that. The Kelsey
Dude.
Pod is now ranked number 1 in their podcast category, which is hilarious. Travis Kelsey has grown to 300,000 more followers than he had prior to that, and I'm sure that number has increased as we
Absolutely.
sit here right now.
Absolutely.
Dude, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Even Monday night game, like it's the Eagles. It has his brother's playing, but the minute DeAndre Swift is just doing his thing, running the ball, and they're like, oh, we can't help but notice there's a Kelsey and a Swift on the field. And I'm like, are you serious? We're doing this now? Like,
Unreal.
it's just, yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
Not to mention, it's gonna be a terrible game. The
Yeah.
fact, and I know the NFL does not flex games this early, but the fact that that's still a Sunday night game is
Yeah.
ridiculous. That's
It is.
probably helped it to stay a Sunday night game is the fact that Taylor Swift is going to be there. Like,
Yeah.
what it's going to be like the last game against Chicago last week when they were there. It was like at one point I think it was 41-3 or something like that. It's going to be another terrible football game. Awful. I can't, man. That would be like if I bought Yankee tickets and
Right.
was hoping that Jay-Z was going to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's
weird. I mean, look, like if he's
stupid.
performing like after it, like all about it. Like honestly, I almost went to the Phillies game where Shaq was DJing after it. Like and like I even texted Brace and Buster from Q102 and I was like, yo, let's do this. Like Shaq Diesel's gonna be there. Let's go to the game. And like, it didn't pan out, but like I understand performances connected to games, but not on the NFL level, like, and just not at this situation. Imagine if she did the halftime for the Super Bowl because we just found out she's not doing it.
Right.
And imagine if she was. Forget it. It looked
You would have no football fans there. She
No,
broke Ticketmaster. She broke it. Every robot that gets tickets before you, she broke that. And people were going insane. You can't get a Taylor Swift face value ticket. You're paying at least 4 times as much for the nosebleeds. And much respect. She's a very talented human being. That's why she has such a big following. But to have a following like that, to buy tickets to a football game just to hope to see you, that's a scary thing. And if I was Taylor Swift, I would be nervous to go anywhere with those types of fans.
Yeah, that's crazy. Did you see the popcorn box or whatever? People were saying she was inside it, like because that's what she does.
Yeah, to try to go back. I don't blame her.
Yeah, they're gonna
She's
see a
not-
dumpster outside. Taylor's in there.
We should. I swear to God, man, this is unreal. She's gonna break the internet on Sunday. I'm gonna sit down after a long day and just want to watch some football, and all I'm gonna hear about is Taylor Swift. It's gonna be great, Swifties. It's gonna be amazing. We got to take a short break. We'll let you guys digest on this Taylor Swift news. When we come back, we're gonna talk about some gas station news and how is Wawa even Wawa anymore. We're gonna have a quick rundown, Philly. Catch us next. This is Divide Live on Fox Sports The Gambler.
Nice first segment. You want to just keep rolling, or how you feeling?
No, I feel good. I just gotta look at the notes real quick.
All right, cool.
What are we doing with the Wawa then and now?
No, just talking about like how Wawa used to be and how it is now. Like, you know what I mean? Like from coffee to different things. And we don't even, if you have nothing to say, I just feel like it's Wawa back then was so much better. Now it's a gas station, in my humble opinion. So
Oh, absolutely. And the haunted car wash that's like a Halloween themed.
yeah, I just you could toss that. That was something that I reached out to them for a sponsor, but to I just think it's funny. Like Halloween's around the corner. I have a drop if you want to talk about fall weather. Actually, yeah.
And
But
then,
yeah,
do you want to talk about the stuff on Instagram? You sent the thing how what's his name? Aquaman was dressing up as Johnny Depp to scare Amber Heard, bro.
yes, I do. I do want to talk about that.
All right,
It's so good.
do that.
Good call, man.
All right.
All right, so I'm gonna hit it,
All right.
and then I'm gonna hit my drop too because I think it's funny to just start with that. And we can do that.
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
All right, cool.
You're listening to The Divide right here on The Gambler.
Sweater weather. Sweater weather. Sweater weather. Oh, God, I would. Finally, sweater weather. Sweater weather. About time. It's about time. Sweater weather. Sweater weather. Finally, sweater weather. Sweater weather. Sweater weather.
So it is sweater weather.
Sweater weather. Sweater. I had to mow the grass in a sweatshirt earlier today. That was the sweater weather everybody's talking about.
Yeah, I started in a polo, and Angelica, the woman I work with, one of my best friends, she was like, yo, what are you doing? You're in a polo right now. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And I switched into a sweater, and I was like, you know what? It's sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
So,
I love the way, hold on. I love that you were like, Angelica, I work with her. She's my best friend. Like the way you progressed to that was
she, like just progressed into what she is. Yeah, no, I was just like, yeah. I didn't want to say her name. I said her name first. And then like, yeah.
Like, oh no. Yeah, no, I work with her. Yeah, we're pretty much best friends at this point.
Yeah, we're pretty much. Yeah, she doesn't know this. She's finding out now. Live on.
Don't ask her. Don't ask her.
Yeah,
if you
don't
ask me,
her.
we're best friends.
She has me blocked on all social media accounts. No, but for real, we were cracking up because our store's been through a lot. Philly's been through a lot. It's been crazy, right? So yeah, we had a power failure at the store, and you made comments about what she was doing during the power failure. And then
they were appropriate comments. It wasn't anything crazy, Philly. Don't get me wrong. It was still daytime during this power outage. If it was nighttime, I'd make some other comments.
No. But look, yeah, man, it is sweater weather. And and fall is here. The Phillies are now in the playoffs again. But dude, it started making me think about just life in general, like this time of year and stuff. And I was really reflecting the other day while I was walking through a Wawa, and I was like, man, there used to be like, I'm having a bum day. I'm like, I want something that I enjoy, and I was like, a Sizzly, they don't hit like they used to, pretzels at Wawa, they ain't like they used to be. And even the sandwiches, dude. Like I remember like the tomato, the lettuce, like just in, the vinegar, like everything on a shorty used to like just hit so much better. And like now Wawa it's just a gas station to me. Like I don't know. Like am I missing something? Is there still something that you're like, all right, that's great? Because like even the coffee, like I was thinking, like it used to be signed by Dick Wood. I don't know who that guy was, but like the guy Billy Z, who used to be our boss at Six Flags, is like, had my Dick Wood this morning, and that was legit like the CEO of Wawa for a while, and for some reason they decided to make sure that he signed every coffee cup, explaining it. So I don't know. look, I still love Wawa. I'm still frequent there, but man, have they dropped off.
Man, you have great Wawa experience. Like my Wawa experience is cool, but I like you grab a sandwich and stuff before work.
I'm telling
But it
like
was
a love
more like
story.
it was like the nighttime Wawa where you're like getting ready to
Yes.
go out. You stop in. It used to be like get get some mixers, get those Swisher Sweets and those Black and Milds, and you knew it was going to be a good night. That was my Wawa, where the
No,
the person over the counter would look at you super creepy, and you're like, "Look, man, I'm just trying to have a good time here. That's all."
no,
I
yeah.
remember we would always do this. We would, and I hate it when I see people do it now because this is the old man in me. We used to hang out
At
at
Six
Wawa.
Flags.
No,
Yes.
at Wawa. We used to like
Like
park
no. I mean, like after we were done working at Six Flags, you'd
just
hang out.
anytime if we were getting ready to go
Yeah.
out. It wasn't like, hey, meet me at the house. We'll like BS over here and then we'll go. It was like, oh, just meet me at Wawa. We'll grab a couple things and we'll hang out there. And as soon as we get word, we'll go. You know what I mean? Like I hate them. Like we would use the parking lot at Wawa just to hang. God,
Yeah.
people probably hated us so much.
It was like our version of like drive-in like diners and stuff. You know what I
I
mean? Like that's all we had. That's
It's a
all we had
sad
was
it's
Wawa.
a sad
Like,
dip for
yeah,
society if that was our
eating
version of that.
eating a classic Italian hoagie on a trash can was our dine-in drivers.
No, it's classy. They have pretzels filled with cheese.
But yo, those pretzels used to hit so much better, and I feel
Mhm.
like I don't know, man. They changed them one day, and it really it gutted me. Like I don't know.
I don't think they changed the pretzels, man. I just think it's inflation. I think the fact that you're paying $5 for that pretzel and not like
No,
$1.75
it was
anymore.
different. It was like the salt was embedded a little bit more. It was kind of like it was similar to the Pretzel Factory pretzel, like
Mhm.
very similar,
Mhm.
but still better. And then one day they're just like, surprise, these are new pretzels. Like, go F yourself if you like the old ones because these ones are here to stay. And I was like, I'll ride this out. This won't last. I can't be the only one that hates this freaking pretzel. And like, no, I look at it for the last decade and I'm just like, yo, dog, like when we getting rid of these pretzels, you know? And now
Oh my God.
they got burgers and it's just like,
No,
all right, man.
pizza. They got pizza now. Tacos. I
Yeah.
think they're doing tacos. Like Wawa's just trying to do it all, like a cheesecake factory. You can't do that, man. You got to have some limits here.
We
ATM,
don't
dude.
normally take live comments, but I'm gonna take one right now. Michael Sean, huge fan of the network, says Angel Hernandez should never be allowed in a Wawa.
Absolutely not. Not unless he's pumping gas for me. That's a slap on the people that pump gas, at least in Jersey. I mean, in
No.
Pennsylvania, you got to do it yourself, right?
Or he should be because the price could be wrong in my favor.
That's true. My God.
Depends
Last thing
on
about
the
Wawa,
size.
I remember I always, for some reason, that was the only ATM I would use in forever. I don't know, like any other ATM, I would always just walk in and be like, I gotta get cash. Let's just go to Wawa. I don't know why. That just would always be it.
Dude, also like they had those shakes for a while that were pretty good. They got
Mm.
rid of those. Like they just fallen in and out in love with things. Like ices, they were like huge. Like now I don't know if
Mhm.
they even have them anymore.
Ah,
You know what I
man,
mean?
what do teenagers pour their alcohol in then?
I
That's
don't
what we
know.
used to do. We were
Uh,
let's get the Coke slushy. You just get
Yeah.
some rum and you pour it in and you're good.
I don't know, man.
Drive
Like,
around for a little bit.
even like the donuts now, they're all like pre-packaged. Like it's a mess. It's a mess. They got to
Let's
refine themselves. They need to reset for sure.
Speaking of fall, I know the spooky stuff is gonna come and the haunted things are about to start popping off here. Did you hear? Of course you heard, because you're the one that sent me. There's a haunted car wash in New Jersey. In Rockaway, New Jersey, there's a place that exists, and you can
Right.
get in your car to get it washed, and then things pop out at you and try to scare you while you go through this car wash.
Two things come to mind.
Why?
Right. Like number one, like if somebody scares me while I'm behind the wheel, they might get run over. Or I would accelerate in such a way that I would ruin the car wash. Like I don't understand it. I get it, but like this is gonna end up in manslaughter, vehicular manslaughter, I should say.
I just don't get like like the car wash I go to, you drive up, it locks you in this
Mhm.
conveyor belt, and then it just pulls your car through. And then there's no room for people because the machines are going. Not to mention, at my car wash, there's at least 5 or 6 signs saying that they're not responsible for damage, which leads me to believe that sometimes these machines go off the rails and start causing damage to your car. And then as you're going through the car wash, because I'm so like overprotective of my car, and guys, it's nothing special, but I'm still like, oh, please, nothing happened to it. I'm like watching every little machine work. Like, please don't mess up. Please don't scratch my car. Please don't mess up. Please don't scratch. That's scary enough for me. I don't
Right.
understand how these guys are even going to pop out at you. And not to mention, you're in a locked car. How scary could it be? We've all driven through Philadelphia. That's got to be scarier than driving through a haunted car wash. I mean, come on.
Also, am I the only person in the world that, like, when I see something where it says we're not responsible, it sounds like you're responsible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like we're not responsible if you fall. Like, oh no, I fell off this cliff.
Are
I guess
you
I'm not
though?
responsible because that guy pushed me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like you are when you say you're not responsible. It sounds like you're responsible. So that's my one take on that. But
And
yeah,
that's
dude.
never like foolproof too. It's never like, well, you see the sign. We clearly said we weren't responsible. It's like, I don't think that's how it works,
Like,
man.
shucks. I guess I shouldn't call my attorney and just see if I have a
Gonna
case.
drive around with that
sign
sign
said it.
on my car, a sign on our cars to say we're not responsible for any damage. That way, anything
Anything,
we
yeah.
hit, hey,
Right.
look, man, the sign says we're not responsible.
It's like
My God.
the guy who shot me said he wasn't responsible for my bleeding. It's just crazy.
Let's
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I wanted to point something out because I saw another crazy video from this
Point it out.
lady. Britney Spears is a mess, right?
Oh my God, dude.
But
I
I
know.
want to just take it back to memory lane since we talked about Wawa. We talked about everything that, and we kind of got on that old school thing. I was a huge fan of Mandy Moore when everybody else was like Christina or Britney. And
Yep.
guys like you, specifically you, would be
Mhm.
like, Mandy Moore, like really the Candy Woman, like, and you guys mocked me. Like,
Mhm.
who's laughing now? All these
Mhm.
other women are crazy. Like, the
Mhm.
ones we grew up, our version of NSYNC because they're back in it. And I was just thinking, like, maybe I got that one right.
Dude, Britney Spears is a product
Did you see the
of
hibachi thing?
dude. Of course, I saw the hibachi chef. So those of you that might not know, get on the internet. Britney released a video. What was it? Saturday morning or something. It was
Yeah.
really just her dancing all crazy, like she
Mhm.
normally does. But the internet has taken it and run with it. People are worried. They're like, someone's got to check on, and someone does have
Right.
to check on Britney. Everybody fought to have this
Free
conservatorship,
her.
like to
Right.
free her conservatorship or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Like, oh, she doesn't need this, she doesn't need that. And the second she gets freed, she releases a couple videos, and people go, oh, maybe
Maybe
we,
she needs some
maybe
help.
we should
Yeah,
check
look,
on
we
Britney.
all need a little help, and like, look, I'm not trying to poke fun, but if you nobody had that in their bingo card, you know what I mean? Like, hibachi
Dude, if-
Britney, like, it's absolutely crazy, but like, like I said, as a Mandy Moore fan, I'm kind of like, I saw this happening,
I can't imagine. That's like, this is how you know who your friends are. If I were to wake up in the morning
Yeah.
and just post a video of me dancing crazy in my kitchen, I would get at least 5 phone calls of like, yo, what's going on, man? Did you not sleep last night? Was the baby okay? Like, what's happening? Like, I don't think anybody's calling Britney. I think everyone's like, oh no, that's all right. That's normal. That's what
Right.
she does. I can't, dude. The internet just
Yeah.
remains undefeated.
So we talked about Brittany, Mandy Moore. Speaking of the first ever debate that was on the divide, Topanga versus Winnie Cooper.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you won that vote in a landslide. I
Damn
still
right.
think Winnie was great. They had a picture together 2 weeks ago. We didn't talk about it, which was kind of cool. And there are like a lot of teenage boys or former teenage boys are going nuts right now. And I agree. It was pretty crazy. But also, Topanga was in Philadelphia and threw out the first pitch.
Straight
Which-
heater too.
Yeah, which is weird because like that's Corey Matthews' spot, man. Like he was the known Philly fan. He was the first ever televised like real Philly fan. Like he's bringing the radio in the school and stuff like that. You stole that from him, man. Like that's not cool. That's not.
That's
cool.
what Corey Matthews gets for not wanting to partake in. They're doing some '90s tour, the whole Boy Meets World gang, but without
they got a
him. For some
podcast.
reason,
Yeah, you're
he's
right.
not participating in it. So that's what you get. You missed out on throwing a first pitch. Way to go. But it's Philly. Philly lets everybody throw a first pitch. Remember when the Mets
The
general threw out a
7-line
first
did it.
pitch? So
I was
like,
just thinking about the Cubs had the Henry the guy from Rookie of the Year, Henry Rosenberg or
Mhm.
whatever,
Mhm.
Rosengardner. He threw out the first pitch. So I was just like, yo, you really had Mrs. Matthews do it and not Corey Matthews? Like Corey bled that team,
Yeah.
So
Well,
maybe during
maybe
the playoffs he'll get his shot.
I don't know. I mean, we'll talk more. We got to take a quick break, Philly. When we come back, we're going to talk Phillies clinching that playoff spot. We're also going to talk about the merger between the USFL and the XFL. Stay with us. We will be right back. It's The Divide live on Fox Sports The Gambler.
So they made a Tops Now card, and I bought you one of her throwing out the first pitch.
Really?
So, yeah, it'll take like 6 weeks to come, but I got you one. I thought it'd be funny.
Actually, we have 11 minutes to play with, not 10. I actually stopped it a minute early. Damn.
Yeah, that's fine. So we'll start back at 36. You want to go?
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
And then just add 11 to that.
Sure.
You're listening to The Divide right here on The Gambler.
And we are back. Philly, you got a lot to celebrate. Your Eagles are 3-0. The Phillies clinched a playoff spot with the wild card officially this week. And now we're in it. Now it's make it or break it time. We don't know who Philly gets yet, do we? I'm looking at
Not
now.
yet. Dude, it's a mess. There's situations where other teams could still get in. It's hilarious. Like there's still a road for the Padres, which is nuts. It would take an insane amount of losses from the Marlins and the Cubs for that even to become a situation. But yeah, the wild card especially now with 3 teams it's going to come down to the wire, and there's still going to be tiebreaker situations in both leagues, most likely. But yeah, Philly.
It's crazy to me. I mean, just looking at the division leaders, and you got 2 teams that are over 100 wins in both the AL and the NL, and one of those teams being Baltimore is insane to me. I would have loved to take that futures bet, but it's also
Nuts,
crazy.
man.
You got Tampa Bay's got close to 100 wins, and they got to settle for a wild card spot. Like that is wild to me.
It's nuts, dude.
I love it. So what I wanted to bring up, Philly, you guys clinching, because it's a great thing. You guys are in the same spot you were last year. You took a lot of momentum from that spot, so it should feel very familiar to you. However, I'm going to bring up the same thing I always bring up every time I see this around this time every year. Why have the big celebration? And I know you make this argument that it's a long season and they deserve it. I just think it's so premature at this state. And it even when the Yankees do it, I hate it. You clinch the playoffs, and they, like with the Yankees, they celebrate because they clinched the playoff spot. And then, oh, we celebrate because we clinched the division. Oh, we celebrate because of this, like that. It's too much. After each round, they have to celebrate, and they got to tape up all the tarps in the locker room, and everybody's got to get doused in champagne, and the job's not done. It's still insane to me at this point that we're still doing this, and that players, I get it. You play, an insane amount of games. You want to let loose and celebrate, but like you can't feel like you did anything but your job at this point. So what's with the huge celebration? I don't get it.
Well, what you could ask that question a couple times in the next couple weeks and months, because we are partnered with Todd Frazier to have the second annual beer pong event to benefit the Children's Specialized Hospital. But him and his friends are going to be there, and you could ask them all that, because
Gladly.
what you don't understand is baseball players celebrate everything. So that first player that gets his first hit, that's a beer shower. Like they celebrate as much as during the regular season, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. They enjoy their dinners. They're away from their families for 162 games with a few days off sprinkled in between. It's a big deal, man. And I think, especially with the Phillies right now, bringing back the I'm still dancing on my own, like all that stuff. And they're like, listen, like now it feels different. It's like we've been there before. We're gonna go back there. So I think it's a momentum builder, but also like you have to appreciate that accomplishment. I mean, there's not many sports that play 162 games. The only sport that I see around that plays that many games, because I'm so confused by it, is soccer. You know what I mean? Like they're just always playing that in golf. Like I don't know the off season for golf because it's just people are always playing, you know? So it's for me, for baseball, like I think that it's still, even though it's now 3 wild card teams, still a huge accomplishment. You don't know when you could celebrate again. And if you could use that as momentum to get through the next series, so be it. Where I don't like it as a fan is the next day you got to go play a World Series game or something, because like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
dead, you know? And so I like that they're getting out of the way. You know, a lot of times you'll lose that next game. I think the Phillies actually won it. It just goes to show how strong their bench is. But yeah, Brendan Marsh on the PBR bowl was insane. Everybody was just having fun that whole night. Philly has energy, and we'll see. Whereas like the Braves, like right now, like the last time they celebrated was almost a month ago, right? Because they had the division wrapped up that quick. So
Yeah.
you always see these teams that celebrate later in the season end up going further. I mean, the Phillies weren't in the wild card before the Mets, and look how far they went last year, and then look how quick the Mets were out of it, and even the Yankees for that matter. So right now, I would love to be just celebrating anything, and the only thing I have to celebrate is Pete Alonso Navy hitting 50 home runs and Lindor going 30 for 30 for the first time in his career.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than your team like getting some momentum underneath them, and when they start actually winning, when it doesn't mean anything whatsoever. It's just,
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
plain
it's
spoiler, you know.
frustrating, super frustrating. Let's get on to this XFL USFL merger. I have to give my partner in crime props to this. You called it. I mean, I think as soon as you said the XFL is coming back, you were
Yeah.
the first one, and I'm not making this up, guys. I'll show you the text messages. To say like they're going to merge. There's no way there's going to be 3 leagues with the NFL, the USFL, and the XFL. I think this is one of the smartest moves they can make. I think both businesses, the USFL and the XFL, together are sinking ships. But I think if you merge, you have one league and you play it in the off season after the NFL ends. I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon. So it says here that they announced the merger. They just have to wait for customary regulatory approvals and all that other consumer BS. And then, it'll be a done deal at a later date.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, of this merger, is this really more of a merger or an acquisition? Is this going to be a merger to where they're going to kind of compromise on the way? Because those 2 games are played completely different, by the way.
Right.
XFL has different rules than USFL. So is this going to be a adoption of the XFL rules? Do you think it's going to be compromised, or is this more of an acquisition?
Yeah, I think it's going to be more the XFL, but you're going to see more East Coast teams. That was the biggest difference. The XFL focused on the warmer weather areas and mostly West Coast. You're going to see both East Coast, West Coast now be involved. More importantly, what the XFL did better than the USFL, in my humble opinion, was reach out to the NFL and be like, hey, we want to be like your minor leagues. We want to be your developmental. I can't just be all college. Like there's a lot of guys that might get cut or could showcase their talents here. And the NFL was all for it. Also rule changes, stuff like that. We could be ground zero for that. And the NFL enjoyed it. I mean, you're seeing it. There's so much more that the XFL in all different variations has given to the NFL than the USFL has, right? Even the fact that you're seeing defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators like up in the skyboxes as opposed to with the team. And we were talking about this. I was my buddy Steve from Brooklyn. He was we had we watch football together, and we're just like, man, like, isn't that weird though? Because like now, like, say if like a defensive end missed a big play, like that coach can't go up to him on the sideline and be like, you got to get your head in the game. You know what I mean? Like, because he's just doing it from a skybox out there. So I think there's all different things going on, but I think the XFL played their cards right, and in this marriage, I feel as though just by osmosis, The Rock and his team will have more leadership than the USFL.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm excited to see what happens. I wasn't excited about or as excited as you were last year. Was it last year or 2 years ago when the XFL made their debut?
Yeah, the last two variations of the XFL, I've been.
Yeah, you've been pumped about it. I
Yeah.
just I can't. You got the NFL just ends. You got USFL going on, XFL. It's just to me that's too much. But to one merger, and it makes perfect sense in my eyes. I'm glad you brought up the whole Steve from Brooklyn thing, because while we were so my wife had to work from home all week because there was 2 people in the household that tested positive. So I used that as an opportunity, is when the baby was tired, and I would sit there and watch, and I'd start to rewatch a lot of the Marvel films because that's the only thing that was really on. And I've noticed that there's only one person that mentions that they're from Brooklyn more than you.
Spider-Man.
Nope. Spider-Man's from Queens. That's Steve Rogers, Captain America.
Okay.
He says it like 2 times in every single movie he's in, and I'm like, Jesus, it's like Captain Powers right there from Brooklyn.
That's
I'm from
so great.
Brooklyn.
That's
I'm from
great.
Brooklyn. I'm like, oh my, we get it. It's got to be a Brooklyn thing. You got, if you're not from being from Brooklyn is like doing CrossFit or being a vegan. You just got to let everybody know. It's just what it is.
Yeah, it's so, dude, it's like a religion. It's like people love being Irish. I love being Brooklyn, and I know Steve does too. He owns Manja right by the studio. We're gonna have him in here. It's the food's insane, absolutely insane. He has this new 4 Corners pizza. Wait till you try it, man. It's nuts. It's a
I'm
taste
excited.
of everything.
We're gonna have to recap that Manja experience next week. Philly, you guys be good. Good luck, Eagles. Good luck, Dolphins. Good luck, Niners. Let's see who can be 3-0 after this, guys. Be good.